2018, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. So in 2019, I had to go get surgery. And it was the toughest moment of my life because I walked in there, well, I didn't walk, I rolled into surgery, with this like feeling of, yeah, it will be fine, I'll get out in like 2 days tops. That's not the case at all. I was in hospital for about 7 days after that, and I felt myself get really, really low. I was in a white room. I was in this bed by myself. My mum could only come about like 10 hours of the day, and then she had to go. And I could just feel myself spiral down into this deep, deep, dark hole. And it wasn't like maybe the second night after surgery, and I was in this really, really intense pain, and I was crying out, I was screaming, and the doctors and the nurses didn't know how to help me. And I turned to my mum and I was like, why is God making me go through this? I was like, I've done everything right. I have done nothing bad to anybody, but he's making me go through this pain. And that was like the lowest point. The next day, I don't know if he was a nurse or a surgery technician, but basically he came in and he was like, hey Darcy, gonna take you off to x-ray. And I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. He rolled me and he got into the elevator and he started talking about Christmas. It was December, and he was like, are you excited for Christmas? And I was like, no, I'm in pain. I'm not excited for Christmas at all. Like, I'm just gonna be laying on like the couch. Then he started talking about God out of nowhere. And I was like, what the, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, no, it's okay. I know it's gonna be tough this Christmas and you're gonna be in pain, but God gives his strongest, his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. And I was like, I started crying in the wheelchair. It was like really bad because I was like trying to hold it in. And then he was like, yeah, it's like, I know that it's going to be okay for you because you are tough and I can see God through you and I can see that he's working through you. And I just stopped and I was shaking and I was crying, and then it was like this instant relief. Like, I had all this weight on my shoulders and in my heart, and I had no idea. I was in this dark place, and all of a sudden I could see this light. And then it was like God knew I was questioning him. And then out of nowhere, he just got this guy and he told me why he was putting me through this. And that moment changed me for like the past 3 years. Past 3 years. And from then on, I started to like delve into my faith even more. And I think it was just that like instant relief of, oh, I'm not alone, God's with me. Like, and he hasn't left me, he hasn't abandoned me, he isn't making me go through this just for the sake of going through it. Like, he's doing it for a reason. And I'm so much better now, so like, thank you for like the surgery, because I was in pain before, but now I'm great. Literally the next day, it was like a turnaround. Like, I started getting better with my physio. I started getting better with like the pain was starting to wear off. I wasn't in that much pain anymore. And it was like, maybe a day later I could go home. But before, when I was like in that low place, they were like, oh, she might have to stay for like another week. Even though you're going through something hard, that like, or struggling, or you feel yourself going into this deep, deep, deep dark place, just look to God, because he's there with you, and he's struggling with you. He's trying to take the load off you. But also just remember that like God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers.